Let's start with a simple truth: time is your most precious asset. Every minute that passes is one you can never get back. So the question is, how are you spending your time? Are you investing it in things that elevate your life and bring you closer to your dreams? Or are you wasting it in places that drain your energy, keep you stuck, and distract you from your purpose? We've all been there. We've all caught ourselves spending time in places that serve no real purpose. Places that I like to call nivelli. What is nivelli? Well, let's think of it as the space where we get caught up in distractions, in the lives of others, in unnecessary drama, and the opinions of people who don't truly have our best interests at heart. We chase after things that are external, when what we really need is to turn inward and focus on our own development. Stop wasting time in nivelli. Instead, focus on yourself. Become your own priority. It's not about selfishness. It's about recognizing that in order to offer your best self to the world, you first need to nurture and develop that best self within. The path to personal growth begins with self-reliance. You cannot wait for the world to change or for someone to come along and save you. You have everything you need inside of you to create the life you want. But it begins with one crucial decision: decide to focus on yourself. This doesn't mean ignoring the people you love or abandoning your responsibilities. It means creating the mental and emotional space to invest in your own progress. It means stepping away from the noise and asking yourself, what do I truly want? What are my goals, my values, my vision for the future? Here's the reality: you are the creator of your reality. What you think about, what you focus on, what you choose to believe shapes your life. If you focus on your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, that's exactly what you'll see in your world. But if you focus on your strengths, your vision, your possibilities, that's what you'll attract. In conclusion, the most important thing I want you to remember today is this: stop wasting your precious time. Focus on yourself. Invest in your own growth. Strengthen your mind, your body, and your spirit. Create the life you were meant to live. And do so with the knowing that you are worthy of the best that life has to offer. Don't let your energy be wasted in places that don't serve your purpose. Instead, direct it inward and watch as your life begins to transform in ways you never thought possible. Self-reliance is at the core of living a fulfilling and empowered life. It's about recognizing that you and only you are ultimately responsible for the quality of your life and the direction it takes. It's easy to fall into the trap of relying on others, whether it's for validation, approval, or even direction. The truth, however, is that external sources of validation are fleeting and unreliable. Self-reliance means trusting in your own abilities, instincts, and judgment to make the decisions that will shape your future. When you depend on others, whether it's your family, your friends, or society as a whole, you relinquish a level of control over your own destiny. You allow other people's opinions, beliefs, and values to dictate how you see yourself and how you approach the world. But when you turn inward, when you start to develop self-reliance, you begin to reclaim your personal power. It's about cultivating the strength to make your own decisions, even when it feels difficult or uncertain. Developing self-reliance requires you to trust that you have what it takes to handle the challenges that come your way. Life will never be a smooth, uninterrupted path. There will always be setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. But when you develop a mindset of self-reliance, you begin to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth and learning. You learn to trust that even in the face of difficulty, you have the ability to find solutions, adapt, and keep moving forward. Moreover, self-reliance helps build resilience. When you stop looking outside of yourself for answers or reassurance, you begin to find your own inner strength. You become less dependent on external validation, less susceptible to the opinions of others, and more focused on your own path. The more you rely on yourself, the more you prove to yourself that you have the resources and the capabilities to succeed on your own. This is the foundation for true confidence, not the kind that's based on what others think of you, but the kind that comes from knowing you can trust yourself no matter what comes your way. This doesn't mean that you should shut yourself off from others or reject help when it's needed. True self-reliance recognizes that you can lean on others for support, but you don't depend on them for your sense of self-worth or purpose. It means being able to stand on your own 2 feet, make your own decisions, and take responsibility for your life not as a burden, but as a source of empowerment. In the end, self-reliance is about confidence. It's about believing that no matter what happens in your life, you have the capacity to handle it, learn from it, and move forward with even more strength and wisdom. It's about creating a life that is based on your own values, your own principles, and your own desires, not one dictated by external influences. When you embrace self-reliance, you unlock the potential to truly live your best life, not the life someone else has planned for you, but the life you were always meant to lead. Time is perhaps the most valuable resource we have, yet it is often the one we take the most for granted. Unlike money, which can be earned and spent again, time moves in one direction forward, and once it passes, it's gone forever. Each moment that ticks by is an opportunity that can never be regained. When we waste time, we are essentially wasting our lives, for it's the very substance from which our experiences are made. How many times have we found ourselves procrastinating, putting things off, or getting caught up in distractions that offer little to no real value? We often think we have plenty of time, but the truth is that time doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't stop for you to catch up. It doesn't extend itself because you're feeling overwhelmed. Every second that passes is a second you will never be able to retrieve. And the more we allow ourselves to be distracted by things that don't truly matter, the more we rob ourselves of the opportunities that could shape our futures. This idea is particularly important when we realize that time is not just about the quantity of hours we have, but how we use them. The way we choose to spend our time determines the quality of our lives. It's not enough to say you're busy. What truly matters is what you're busy doing. Are you investing your time in your growth, in building meaningful relationships, in pursuing your passions, and in creating a life that reflects your deepest values? Or are you simply letting time slip away through mindless routines, endless scrolling, or engaging in drama that leaves you feeling drained and unfulfilled? One of the greatest mistakes we can make is to think we have all the time in the world. We wait for the perfect moment, we delay our dreams, or we convince ourselves that there will be a better time to start working on the things that really matter. But there is no perfect moment, and there is no guarantee of a better time coming. The best time to act is always now. If you continue to push your goals aside in the name of convenience or fear, you will find that years have passed, and you will have missed the chance to create the life you truly want. Time is also one of the most democratic resources available to all of us. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. What separates those who succeed in life from those who don't is how they choose to use those hours. Some people spend their time in ways that advance their dreams, invest in their growth, and create opportunities for themselves, while others squander their time on things that don't serve their highest potential. The difference isn't about luck or circumstances, it's about making intentional choices with how you use your time. We often underestimate the impact of small, seemingly insignificant choices in how we spend our time. It's easy to think that watching one more episode on Netflix or scrolling through social media for just a few more minutes won't hurt. But those small moments, when accumulated over time, add up. They become the very things that keep us from pursuing what matters. If we don't guard our time, it can be hijacked by trivialities that keep us stuck in a cycle of inertia. However, being mindful of the preciousness of time isn't about filling every second with productivity. It's not about trying to do more or be busier. It's about being deliberate in how you choose to spend your time, about understanding that your time should be spent on things that align with your values, your goals, and your purpose. It's about creating balance in your life where rest, joy, and reflection have just as much value as hard work and action. The key is to be conscious of what you allow to take up your time and to be intentional in how you invest those moments. As you begin to see time for what it truly is, an irreplaceable gift, you'll start to shift your mindset and your behavior. You'll find yourself becoming more selective with how you use your hours, making sure that your time is spent in ways that bring you closer to the life you desire. You'll begin to make choices that reflect your deepest values, knowing that every moment is precious and every choice is an investment in your future. Ultimately, we must remember that time isn't just something to be spent, it's something to be cherished. How we spend our time will define who we become, so choose wisely. Make sure you're living each day with intention, not just moving through life as if time will wait for you to figure it out. The clock is ticking, and there is no better time than now to start making the most of it. Time once lost can never be recovered, so don't waste a single moment. The idea that we are the creators of our own reality is both a powerful and liberating truth. It means that the life you are living right now is a direct result of your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Many of us go through life feeling like victims of circumstance, trapped by external forces like the economy, other people's opinions, or our past experiences. But the truth is, you have the power to shape your own reality. Every choice you make, every thought you think, and every belief you hold has the potential to create a ripple effect that can either propel you forward or keep you stuck in patterns that don't serve you. At the heart of being the creator of your reality is the recognition that your thoughts shape your experiences. Everything begins with the mind. The way you see the world, the way you perceive challenges, and the way you interpret your circumstances all begin with your inner dialogue. If you see the world through a lens of scarcity, fear, or negativity, you will continue to experience more of those things. However, if you shift your perspective to one of abundance, possibility, and optimism, you open up the door to experiences that reflect that shift. This doesn't mean that you won't face difficulties. Life will always have its challenges, but it means that you will start to see them not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. Being the creator of your reality also involves taking responsibility for your life. It's easy to blame external circumstances, other people, or past events for where you are right now. But when you take ownership of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, you begin to realize that you are the one in control. Your past does not define you, nor do your current circumstances have to dictate your future. You can choose to break free from limiting beliefs, from negative patterns, and from anything that holds you back. The moment you decide that you are no longer a passive observer in your own life, but an active participant, the process of transformation begins. This requires a level of self-awareness that can be uncomfortable at first. It requires you to really look at your own behavior and habits with an open mind. Are you choosing to believe in your potential, or are you letting fear and doubt rule your decisions? Are you taking consistent action toward your goals, or are you waiting for the right time or the perfect conditions to make a move? The power of being the creator of your own reality is that you are always in control of your next step. Even when things don't go as planned or life throws you curveballs, you still have the ability to choose your response. You can choose how you move forward, what you learn from the experience, and how you use that knowledge to create a new path. In the end, being the creator of your reality means embracing your personal power and recognizing that the life you are living right now is a reflection of your past choices. If you want to change your reality, you must change your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. You must believe in your own potential and take responsibility for creating the life you want. The world around you is a mirror of your inner world, and as you transform within, you will begin to see the world around you shift in beautiful and unexpected ways. So start today. Take control of your thoughts, take action toward your dreams, and trust in your ability to create a reality that reflects your highest potential. The power to create the life you want has always been inside of you. It's time to step into it fully. Detaching from external validation is one of the most freeing and transformative steps you can take in life. For much of our lives, we are conditioned to seek approval from others, whether it's from our parents, our peers, or society at large. We seek validation in the form of compliments, likes, achievements, or even status symbols, believing that these things will give us a sense of worth or confirmation that we are enough. However, relying on external sources of validation is a dangerous trap that leaves us constantly searching for something outside of ourselves to feel complete. When we attach our self-worth to external validation, we give away our personal power. We make our sense of self dependent on factors we cannot fully control. And the result is an endless cycle of needing more approval, more recognition, more praise. This constant chase can lead to burnout, frustration, and a sense of emptiness because we are looking for fulfillment in places that can never truly satisfy us. No matter how much praise we receive, how many likes we get, or how many external successes we achieve, it's never enough. The need for validation becomes insatiable because it is based on something fleeting and unreliable. This is not to say that recognition or positive feedback is inherently bad. It's natural to feel good when someone acknowledges your efforts or appreciates your work. But when your sense of self becomes tied to it, you place your worth in the hands of others. Your happiness, your confidence, and your sense of value should not be dependent on the fleeting opinions or actions of other people. In fact, external validation can often become a form of control. It can lead you to act in ways that please others or to adopt beliefs that are not truly your own, all in the pursuit of approval. One of the keys to personal freedom and growth is learning to validate yourself from within. This requires shifting your focus inward and becoming aware of your own strengths, qualities, and potential. It means knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what truly matters to you, regardless of what others may think or say. When you no longer rely on others for affirmation, you begin to build a solid foundation of self-worth that comes from the inside, not the outside. This internal validation creates a sense of stability. No longer will your mood or self-esteem be dependent on external factors that are beyond your control. Detaching from external validation also allows you to become more authentic. When we are constantly seeking the approval of others, we tend to mold ourselves to fit into a predefined image of what is acceptable or desirable. We compromise our true desires, our authenticity, and our individuality to meet the expectations of others. This can lead to feelings of resentment, confusion, and even loss of self. However, when you detach from external validation, you begin to step into your true self. You start to act according to your own values and vision, rather than trying to meet the approval of others. You become free to express yourself authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. There's also a deep sense of empowerment that comes with this detachment. When you stop seeking approval from others, you take full responsibility for your own happiness. You realize that you have the ability to create your own sense of self-worth, to define your own success, and to determine what makes you happy. No longer do you need to wait for someone else to give you permission to be confident or to feel proud of who you are. You become the source of your own validation, and that in turn allows you to make decisions and take actions that are aligned with your true desires, rather than with the opinions of others. Detaching from external validation also frees up mental and emotional energy. When we constantly seek validation from others, we spend a lot of time and energy worrying about how we are perceived, how we measure up, or how we can win approval. This can create a lot of mental clutter and stress. But when we stop looking outside of ourselves for confirmation, we free up that energy to focus on what truly matters: our goals, our growth, our passions. By releasing the need for external validation, we gain clarity and peace of mind, enabling us to pursue what's truly meaningful to us. This doesn't mean that we should isolate ourselves or ignore constructive feedback. Seeking and receiving feedback from others is an important part of growth and development. However, the difference is that you no longer base your entire sense of value on what others say or think about you. You learn to take feedback objectively without letting it define your worth. When you are detached from external validation, you can listen to criticism with an open mind, learn from it, and use it to improve without internalizing it as a reflection of your identity. One of the most powerful aspects of detaching from external validation is the freedom to follow your own path. When you are no longer worried about what others think, you have the courage to pursue your passions, your dreams, and your purpose without the fear of judgment or failure. You become more resilient because your sense of worth is rooted in your own self-acceptance, not in the approval of others. You stop waiting for external permission to live the life you truly desire. When we engage in introspection, we begin to take an honest look at ourselves without judgment or denial. We examine not only our successes but also our failures, mistakes, and the things we'd rather ignore. This deep level of self-reflection allows us to understand the reasons behind our actions and choices, helping us identify patterns that either serve or hinder our progress. By understanding the root causes of our behaviors, we can begin to make conscious decisions to change them, ultimately creating a more empowered and authentic version of ourselves. Through introspection, we also gain the opportunity to uncover our limiting beliefs. Many of us carry beliefs that were formed during our childhood, shaped by the opinions and experiences of others, or based on past trauma. These beliefs can limit our potential, holding us back from pursuing our dreams, from embracing change, or from taking the risks necessary to grow. But when we pause to reflect, we can identify these beliefs and begin to question them. We start to see that many of the limitations we perceive are not absolute truths, but rather mental constructs, ideas that we have allowed to define us. Once we recognize these limitations, we can actively work to rewrite them and replace them with empowering beliefs that support our growth and progress. Introspection also allows us to assess our values. As we look inward, we also gain the ability to identify areas in our lives that need improvement. No one is perfect, and no one has it all figured out. We all have areas where we fall short or where we need to grow. Introspection helps us see these areas clearly without self-criticism or shame. By approaching ourselves with compassion and curiosity rather than judgment, we can use our weaknesses as a guide for growth. The process of self-reflection makes it easier to identify the steps we need to take to improve, whether it's working on emotional resilience, cultivating better habits, or learning new skills. Introspection gives us the clarity to understand what changes need to be made and how we can begin to make them, creating a roadmap for personal evolution. When we practice introspection, we also begin to develop emotional intelligence. Understanding our emotions and how they influence our behavior is key to personal growth. Emotions can be powerful guides if we learn to listen to them and understand their underlying causes. Often we react to situations impulsively without pausing to understand why we feel a certain way or how those feelings affect our actions. Through introspection, we create space to examine our emotional responses, which helps us become more self-aware and intentional in how we respond to life's challenges. This emotional awareness allows us to make decisions that are based on reason and clarity, rather than being driven by unchecked impulses. Moreover, introspection promotes self-compassion, which is essential for growth. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, berating ourselves for past mistakes or perceived shortcomings. However, the process of self-reflection also invites us to approach ourselves with kindness and understanding. We begin to realize that growth is not a linear process, and that mistakes are part of the journey. Instead of beating ourselves up for our failures, we learn to see them as valuable lessons that contribute to our wisdom and resilience. By practicing self-compassion, we free ourselves from the paralyzing grip of perfectionism and self-doubt, enabling us to move forward with greater confidence and a more open heart. Another vital aspect of introspection is its ability to help us align our actions with our intentions. In the rush of everyday life, it's easy to become disconnected from our deeper purpose. We may find ourselves going through the motions, following routines that no longer serve us, or engaging in actions that don't align with our values. Through introspection, we can step back and evaluate whether our actions are in harmony with our goals and desires. We are able to realign ourselves with our vision for the future, ensuring that our daily actions contribute to the life we want to create. This alignment is crucial for long-term success and satisfaction because when our actions match our intentions, we experience a greater sense of fulfillment and coherence in our lives. Introspection also deepens our capacity for gratitude. When we take the time to reflect on our lives, we begin to see the abundance that already exists around us. We start to notice the small victories, the lessons we've learned, and the ways in which we've grown, even during difficult times. Through introspection, we shift our focus from what's missing to what's already present. And this shift creates a sense of contentment and appreciation for the journey we're on. Gratitude, in turn, fuels further growth. because it keeps us grounded in the present moment, allowing us to move forward with a sense of peace and purpose. Finally, introspection leads to growth because it fosters a deep sense of self-trust. As we learn to understand our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we begin to trust ourselves more fully. We learn to rely on our own inner guidance, knowing that we have the wisdom and strength to navigate life's challenges. This self-trust creates a foundation for courageous action, as we are no longer dependent on external approval or validation to make decisions. Instead, we act from a place of inner knowing, confident that we are on the right path. In the end, introspection is not a one-time activity, it's an ongoing practice that evolves as we do. The more we look within, the more we learn about ourselves, and the more we grow. By dedicating time to self-reflection, we open the door to endless possibilities for personal development, understanding, and empowerment. Through introspection, we become the architects of our own growth, shaping the person we are becoming with intention, compassion, and clarity. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, distractions are everywhere. Our attention is constantly pulled in 100 different directions, whether it's social media notifications, endless news cycles, the constant ping of messages, or even the allure of mindless entertainment. These distractions are designed to capture our attention, keep us hooked, and prevent us from focusing on the things that truly matter. Overengaging in distractions has become a modern epidemic, one that not only steals our time but also undermines our productivity, our sense of purpose, and our emotional well-being. When we get caught in the trap of distractions, we end up wasting precious moments that could otherwise be used for personal growth, meaningful work, or deepening our relationships. The more we give in to distractions, the more we lose sight of what's truly important. We may think that scrolling through social media or binge watching another episode of a TV show is harmless, but each moment spent away from our true goals adds up over time. What we fail to realize is that these distractions are robbing us of the opportunity to engage with life in a more intentional and fulfilling way. One of the dangers of over-engaging in distractions is that it leads to a lack of focus and productivity. We often pride ourselves on being busy, but being busy doesn't necessarily mean we are being productive. Constant distractions fragment our attention, making it difficult to complete tasks, make decisions, or think deeply. Instead of accomplishing meaningful work, we end up jumping from one thing to the next without finishing anything. This constant switching of tasks or task switching reduces our ability to concentrate and be present, making even the simplest tasks take longer to complete. Over time, this erodes our sense of accomplishment and leaves us feeling unfulfilled. In addition to undermining productivity, distractions also create a sense of anxiety and stress. When we're constantly jumping from one thing to another, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We may find ourselves constantly reacting to notifications or emails without ever taking the time to pause and prioritize. The constant barrage of incoming information creates a sense of urgency, even when it's not needed. We start to feel like we're always behind, always playing catch-up, and that sense of pressure makes it difficult to focus on the present moment. This constant state of busyness can lead to burnout, as our minds and bodies never get the chance to rest and recharge. Moreover, over-engaging in distractions prevents us from doing the deeper, more meaningful work that fosters growth and self-discovery. When we constantly distract ourselves, we avoid the discomfort that often comes with introspection, reflection, and growth. We don't give ourselves the space to sit with our thoughts, to reflect on our goals, or to question the direction our lives are headed. In a world full of distractions, it becomes easier to escape the uncomfortable feelings of uncertainty or boredom rather than face them head-on. But it is in those moments of stillness, when we stop distracting ourselves, that the most profound insights often arise. Whether it's about our personal goals, our relationships, or our inner values, the process of self-discovery requires time, focus, and the willingness to confront what's within. Another issue with distractions is that they can disconnect us from the present moment. We live in an age where we are conditioned to be constantly entertained or engaged with something outside of ourselves. This disconnects us from the beauty of the present moment, where real life happens. We miss out on the simple pleasures, the warmth of a conversation, the satisfaction of completing a task, the joy of just being. By constantly seeking external stimuli, we lose the ability to enjoy the moments of solitude that are necessary for reflection and connection. It is in these moments of stillness that we find clarity, creativity, and emotional balance. Over time, the more we indulge in distractions, the more we train our minds to avoid discomfort and hard work. We lose the ability to sit with discomfort and focus on what truly matters. This creates a cycle where we continually seek out distractions to avoid facing difficult tasks or emotions. It might feel good in the moment to check out and scroll through our feeds or dive into another episode of our favorite show, but in the long run, this habit deprives us of the opportunity to tackle the things that could lead to meaningful change. When we stop over-engaging in distractions, we reclaim our ability to focus on the things that require sustained attention and effort, like working toward our goals, learning something new, or developing a meaningful relationship. One of the most powerful benefits of reducing distractions is that it allows us to cultivate mindfulness and presence. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment, requires us to quiet the noise around us and focus on what is happening right here and now. It's about engaging with life directly, without needing a constant stream of external input. Mindfulness enables us to truly appreciate our surroundings, our interactions, and our experiences. It allows us to be present with ourselves and others in a way that distractions simply can't provide. When we reduce distractions, we create the mental space to connect with the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. To stop over-engaging in distractions, we must first recognize the toll they are taking on our lives. It's about becoming conscious of the patterns that have developed, whether it's spending hours mindlessly scrolling through social media or habitually turning to entertainment to avoid the discomfort of quiet. Once we become aware of these habits, we can begin to make intentional choices to reclaim our time. This may mean setting boundaries around technology, scheduling time for deep work or personal reflection, or even simply allowing ourselves moments of boredom, knowing that it's in those moments that our most creative and insightful ideas can surface. Detaching from distractions also involves learning how to prioritize what truly matters. It's about setting clear goals and being willing to say no to things that don't align with those goals. It's about choosing to focus on the people, projects, and activities that bring us closer to our purpose, rather than getting caught up in the noise of the world. By simplifying our commitments and clearing away the clutter, we create the space to focus on what is most meaningful. This shift in focus leads to greater productivity, a sense of fulfillment, and a deeper connection to the things that truly matter in our lives. Patience doesn't mean passivity or inactivity, though. It's about understanding that there are times when we must take action and other times when we need to wait. It requires us to trust the process, even when things feel uncertain or when we can't see immediate results. When we practice patience, we also practice faith in our own abilities and in the natural course of life, knowing that effort over time will eventually yield results, even if it takes longer than we initially anticipated. Whether you're building a business, learning a new skill, or trying to improve yourself, you must accept that progress is often slow and non-linear. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and challenges, but if you have the patience to keep going, you'll find that perseverance eventually pays off. Persistence is the action side of the equation. It's the commitment to keep going, regardless of how hard things get or how long it takes. Persistence is the unwavering determination to continue pursuing a goal, even in the face of failure, doubt, or hardship. It's about sticking to your path, even when the immediate rewards don't seem to justify the effort. Many people give up right before their breakthrough, believing that the lack of visible progress means that success is out of reach. Yet the most successful people understand that persistence is the key to overcoming obstacles and breaking through barriers. Persistence is not about forcing things, but about maintaining a steady focus and effort, even when progress is slow or difficult. Mastering patience and persistence doesn't mean never feeling frustrated or discouraged. It means understanding that setbacks are part of the process, and that the key to overcoming them is not to give up, but to keep going. It's about maintaining your commitment to your goals, even when the path forward is unclear, and trusting that each step you take is building towards something greater. Patience and persistence, together, create the foundation for lasting success, personal growth, and fulfillment. When you embrace both, you empower yourself to navigate any challenge with grace, resilience, and the unwavering belief that, no matter what, you will eventually reach your destination. Each of us is born with a unique purpose and inner calling that aligns with our strengths, passions, and values. Your purpose is not something that is given to you externally or found through comparison to others. It is an intrinsic part of who you are, waiting to be discovered and expressed. Often we spend much of our lives seeking purpose outside of ourselves, looking for validation from others, or trying to fit into societal expectations. But the truth is, your purpose is already within you, and it has been with you from the very beginning. It is the reason you wake up in the morning with energy, the reason you are drawn to certain interests or activities, and the reason your heart feels alive when you engage with certain aspects of life. Everything you do is connected to something larger than yourself. Your purpose gives you direction and a sense of fulfillment, no matter how small or large the impact may seem. It becomes the lens through which you view the world and navigate challenges. When you are aligned with your purpose, you feel more confident in your decisions, more resilient in the face of setbacks, and more attuned to the needs of others and the world around you. This alignment isn't about perfection or having all the answers. It's about showing up as your authentic self and trusting that you are moving in the right direction, even when the road ahead is unclear. Living with purpose also invites you to embrace your unique talents and qualities. No one else can offer what you have to give in exactly the same way. We each have individual gifts, skills, knowledge, perspectives, and experiences that are meant to be shared with the world. Your unique purpose is the intersection of your innate abilities and your desire to make a positive impact on others, whether that's through your work, your relationships, your creativity, or the way you show up in the world. When you tap into these gifts, you start to see that they were never random, they were designed for a reason. They are part of your purpose, and they are waiting to be expressed. A key part of recognizing your unique purpose is letting go of comparison. It's easy to look around and feel that others are further along, more successful, or more purpose-driven than you. But comparison only clouds your own vision and distracts you from your authentic path. Your purpose is not meant to mirror someone else's, and it's not something that can be measured by external success or approval. The moment you begin to compare your journey to others is the moment you lose sight of your own unique path. Remember, you are the only one who can walk your journey in the way that only you can. Additionally, pursuing your unique purpose often involves embracing discomfort and uncertainty. It's natural to feel fear when you step outside of your comfort zone and take risks, especially if your purpose calls you to do something that feels unfamiliar or daunting. However, growth and purpose are often found in these spaces of discomfort. The challenges you face are not signs that you're on the wrong path. They are the necessary hurdles that shape you into the person you are becoming. Every setback or obstacle you encounter is part of your purpose unfolding. It's in these moments that you learn more about who you are, what you're made of, and what you truly want to bring to the world. One of the greatest rewards of aligning with your unique purpose is the sense of fulfillment and peace that comes with knowing you are living authentically. When you are in alignment with your purpose, you feel a sense of wholeness and direction that brings peace, even in the midst of life's challenges. You no longer feel the need to chase external validation or compare your life to others, because you know that you are exactly where you're meant to be. This alignment creates a profound sense of satisfaction because you are living in a way that is true to yourself, rather than following someone else's script. Your purpose also has the potential to positively impact others. When you step into your purpose, you inspire and uplift those around you, even in ways you may never fully understand. Whether through your actions, your words, or the way you live your life, you create ripples of impact that can inspire others to seek out and live their own unique purpose. Purpose is contagious. When you live authentically and passionately, it encourages others to do the same, creating a cycle of inspiration and growth.